Hello, beautiful Libra. Have you noticed how different the energy around you has started to feel lately? Almost like the air itself is shifting. What if someone influential and completely unexpected is being quietly guided toward your life, not because you chased recognition, but because you stayed sincere during moments when it would have been easier to close your heart? You remained calm, thoughtful, and steady, even when no one seemed to notice. And that quiet grace carried farther than you realized. At the time, you may not have understood what your softness was creating beneath the surface, but something moved because of it. The kindness you gave in silence created a ripple that is now returning to you. And this message today is not random, Libra. It feels more like confirmation arriving at the exact moment your spirit is ready to receive it. A meaningful blessing is slowly moving toward you now, carrying the energy of change and repositioning. It may reshape your surroundings, your emotional space, even the atmosphere your soul wakes up inside each day. This is not only symbolic, life itself is beginning to move you. Someone has sensed your energy deeply, and for reasons they may not fully understand yet, they feel drawn to support you. Pause for a moment and ask yourself why these words found you now. Why did you feel pulled toward this video? Why does something inside your chest feel a little more awake as you listen? On a deeper level, you already sense the answer. Your energy has been unfolding toward something meaningful for a long time. You have carried this feeling quietly within yourself. You have imagined peace, freedom, and emotional relief, yet you still remained patient with the process. Even when your efforts went unseen, you kept walking your path sincerely. And now, Libra, it feels as though the light is finally beginning to reach you. Take a moment and comment the sacred number 777 below. Let it become your quiet signal to the universe. Yes, I am open. Yes, I am ready. Yes, I trust what is unfolding for me. And before we continue, I genuinely want to thank you for being here. Your presence and support matter more than you realize. They help these messages reach the people who need them most. So thank you, Libra, for showing up with an open heart and for being part of something deeper than appearances alone. But I also need to say this honestly. What is unfolding around you now carries real emotional weight. This is not a passing feeling or a random shift. It feels deeply timed, intentional, and difficult to fully explain with logic alone. And if you are still listening this far into the message, there is probably a reason your spirit stayed. There are certain energies in this world that move so softly, only people who understand stillness can truly recognize them. And Libra, you have always been one of those people. While others fought to be heard, you answered life with patience, warmth, and quiet understanding. Even when no one fully noticed those moments, they mattered far more than you realized. This blessing moving toward you was never created overnight. It has been unfolding gradually, like morning light spreading across a garden before the rest of the world wakes up. Most people think power only exists in applause or recognition, but real strength often lives inside the moments no one sees. It lives in the forgiveness you carried silently, the dignity you protected when disappointment could have hardened you, and the kindness you continued offering even while your own heart felt tired. Those choices were never empty. Spiritually, they became seeds planted beneath the surface, quietly gathering momentum over time. But you, Libra, continued showing compassion even while navigating your own emotional storms. Maybe it was the comfort you offered someone while hurting quietly yourself, or the grace you extended to someone who never fully appreciated it. Whatever those moments looked like, they carried farther than you could see. This is what alignment truly feels like. It is not loud or desperate for attention. It moves steadily and quietly, with a consistency people can feel even when they cannot explain why. And that kind of energy naturally attracts those searching for something real in a world full of performance. To others, it may seem sudden when an opportunity appears, or someone influential enters your life unexpectedly. But energy does not move randomly. What looks sudden is often the visible bloom of something growing quietly for a long time. Like flowers opening after weeks of warmth, your season of visibility is beginning now. In astrology, Venus teaches you about emotional balance, harmony, and living from the heart. Around June 8th and 9th, that Venus energy begins supporting recognition for everything you carried privately. Your emotional foundation and longing for peace are becoming activated, and life is gently guiding you towards spaces that finally fit who you are becoming. This goes beyond physical movement. It feels like emotional repositioning, a shift into spaces where your presence is valued instead of merely tolerated. Think of the star card in tarot. It does not fight for attention. It shines naturally because its light is real. And that same quiet radiance exists within you, Libra. Someone has started recognizing that light now. They feel the sincerity in your energy, the kind that cannot be performed or manufactured. And this is where faith begins to feel less complicated and more real. There are many stories of people who gave quietly and were later met with unexpected support at exactly the right moment. Grace rarely arrives through chaos. More often, it appears gently, almost like life finally turning toward you after a long season of waiting. So if you have ever wondered whether your softness made life harder or whether your efforts disappeared unnoticed, let this moment answer that part of you gently. You were never invisible, Libra. You were becoming. And now life is beginning to reflect that inner value back to you in beautiful and unexpected ways. And if you feel ready to fully receive this truth, take a moment to comment the number 777 below. Let it become your quiet signal to the universe that your heart is open, your spirit is listening, and you are ready for what is trying to find you. Sometimes the simplest intentions carry the deepest power, especially when they come from sincerity instead of force. What is unfolding around you now, Libra, is not random luck. The energy around your life has been shifting slowly and intentionally, almost like your spirit has been preparing for a different rhythm long before visible change arrived. And around June 8th and 9th, that inner transformation begins showing itself more clearly in the outer world. Astrologically, this period carries a rare emotional openness for you. Venus, your ruling planet, moves into harmony with Jupiter, creating energy that supports growth, warmth, opportunity, and emotional expansion. But this feels deeply personal, not distant or abstract. It touches your sense of home, belonging, peace, and the spaces where your spirit longs to feel safe. This is not only about changing locations or improving your surroundings. It feels more like being repositioned into a life that finally matches who you have quietly become. A space where your nervous system can soften, where you are no longer carrying the emotional weight of places that never truly fit you. For Libra especially, that longing for harmony begins turning into something real instead of something imagined. When Venus and Jupiter align this way, healing often arrives through openness rather than struggle. And when we connect that energy to the tarot surrounding you now, the message becomes even clearer. The Chariot appears as calm readiness, not pressure. It shows that you are emotionally prepared to move forward because you finally understand where your energy belongs. This movement is not about escaping your past. It is about choosing alignment over exhaustion. You are no longer meant to stay in spaces that drain your spirit simply because they feel familiar. And quietly, the Justice card reminds you that life restores balance over time, not through punishment, but through realignment. There were moments when you could have become guarded or bitter, yet you still chose sincerity and grace. Now life is beginning to reflect that energy back to you, and beside this shift, the Ace of Pentacles appears softly, bringing the energy of a real opportunity. A conversation opens, a message arrives, someone reaches out. What matters most is that you are no longer chasing what belongs to you. The right things are beginning to move toward you because your energy is finally ready to receive them without fear. That is the deeper meaning of alignment, Libra. It is not luck. It is readiness meeting opportunity at the right moment. Even the numbers surrounding this season carry meaning. 6 speaks to nurturing and emotional balance. 9 carries the energy of completion and stepping into a wiser version of yourself. Together, they describe the closing of an old emotional cycle and the beginning of something more supportive and expansive. You are not being guided forward because you failed. You are moving because your spirit has outgrown certain spaces. This is a powerful moment to ask yourself which parts of your identity were built around surviving instead of truly living. Growth asks us to release what has become too small for our spirit, not because we are ungrateful, but because we are ready for more. Sometimes closed doors are not rejection at all. Sometimes life is quietly preparing something more aligned while you learn to trust your own timing. You were never forgotten, Libra. You were being preserved for a more meaningful opening. So let your next steps feel grounded and steady, even if they arrive softly. And if this message feels connected to something your heart already sensed, close your eyes for a moment and comment the number 1010 below. Let it become your quiet declaration that you are ready for movement, alignment, and everything waiting to meet you. Some of the deepest connections in life are felt long before they are fully explained. Libra, your energy carries a quiet presence that people feel before they fully understand it. It is gentle without fading and calm without becoming invisible. And that is why someone capable of opening new pathways for you has started moving into your orbit. Not because you forced your way into the right places, but because your energy naturally matched something they had been searching for. People who hold real influence often recognize authenticity instinctively. They may not always explain it clearly, but they feel it. And the person entering your story now is responding to the sincerity you carry naturally. They are not searching for perfection or performance. What draws them in is your steadiness, your kindness, and the way you continue showing up with grace even when life feels heavy. Maybe it is the way you care for others without needing recognition, or how you remain true to yourself even when nobody seems to notice. That kind of emotional honesty creates its own presence, Libra. Whether you realized it or not, people have been feeling that energy around you for a long time. In both astrology and energy work, resonance matters deeply. Energy moves toward what feels real to the soul. This connection forming around you is happening because something genuine inside you is aligning with someone capable of recognizing it. They noticed a light in you that never demands attention, yet quietly changes the atmosphere around it. Think of yourself like a hidden garden tucked behind a busy street in early summer. Most people rush past without noticing its beauty, but someone with awareness stops and realizes they have discovered something peaceful and real in the middle of all the noise. That is the kind of recognition unfolding around you now. I once heard a story about a woman who quietly fed stray animals every evening while struggling through difficult circumstances herself. A man who had observed her kindness for months eventually approached her. He happened to be wealthy, but what mattered most was what he said. He told her that the way she cared for living things when nobody was watching revealed everything he needed to know about her heart. That story mirrors the energy around you now, Libra, not because you need rescuing, but because your heart carries a kind of value the right people can immediately feel. And when someone has the ability to support growth, they are naturally drawn toward energy that feels genuine. This is not about being chosen because you were loud or highly visible. It is quieter than that. You are being recognized deeply, and that recognition is beginning to create movement in your life. Someone wants to help place you in an environment where your spirit can breathe more freely and your gifts can finally flourish. Let this remind you that your worth never depended on proving yourself. It was never about forcing doors open. It was always about becoming more honest with who you truly are, until the right people naturally found their way toward you. Continue trusting that energy within yourself. And if these words feel connected to something you have quietly carried in your heart, take a moment to comment the number 33 below. In numerology, it represents compassion, alignment, and deeper purpose. More than anything, let it remind you that you were never invisible, Libra. You were simply unfolding at the right time. There are moments when change begins internally, long before the outside world shifts. A quiet knowing starts growing inside you, and even if everything around you still looks the same, part of you understands movement is coming. That feeling matters more than you realize. When you begin sensing that soft pull toward a different chapter, it is often the first sign that your outer life is preparing to align with your inner growth. These moments rarely arrive dramatically. Sometimes they come through an unexpected message, a lingering dream, or a quiet feeling pulling you toward a softer way of living. When life is preparing to move you emotionally or spiritually, the signs often appear gently at first. A conversation shifts something inside you. An opportunity appears unexpectedly. A coincidence repeats itself until you can no longer ignore it. These moments are not random, Libra. They are signs that your energy is beginning to meet the next version of your life. And remember this gently. You do not need to chase what is already finding its way toward you. You do not need to force the timing or exhaust yourself trying to control what is naturally unfolding. The real magic was never outside of you, Libra. It has always lived in the way your spirit keeps moving forward, even after disappointment, silence, and seasons where nothing seemed to change. You were never waiting for a miracle to choose you. In many ways, you have been creating the movement yourself all along. So many people spend years waiting for permission to grow, to begin again, or to finally receive something beautiful without guilt attached to it. But what if that permission has always belonged to you? What if you could stand exactly where you are, breathe deeply, and quietly say, "I am ready for the life that truly fits me"? Doors do not open because we force them harder. They open when our energy finally matches what has been waiting behind them. And without even realizing it, you have already been doing that inner work, gently and consistently over time. That is why this shift feels closer now. Life is beginning to respond to the version of you that no longer needs to chase what belongs to them. Of course, standing at the edge of change can still feel vulnerable. Sometimes the familiar feels safer, even when it no longer supports your spirit. But growth asks something deeper from you. It asks you to trust yourself enough to move beyond old emotional patterns, so you can finally live in alignment instead of survival. That is why caring for yourself intentionally matters so much during this season, Libra. Around June 8th and 9th especially, your nervous system needs softness, grounding, and space to breathe. Small rituals carry powerful energy right now. Write down one thing you are grateful for each morning, choose things that calm your spirit, and allow your goals to reflect who you are becoming instead of who you once had to be. And when love reaches for you through support, tenderness, friendship, or opportunity, try not to close yourself off automatically. You do not need to guard yourself from every beautiful thing that enters your life. Sometimes receiving openly is part of healing too. I once heard a story about a woman who lived quietly and gave freely without asking to be seen. One day, someone unexpectedly offered her an opportunity that changed her life. When she asked why, they told her that her presence had been quietly brightening the world around her all along. That energy mirrors what is unfolding for you now, Libra. You have touched people and places more deeply than you realize, even during moments when you felt invisible yourself. And because of that, someone has started to notice the warmth you naturally carry. So when the next door opens for you, do not pull away from it out of fear or convince yourself it must be a mistake. It is not an accident. It is preparation, finally meeting timing. If this message resonates deeply with your spirit, take a slow breath and comment the number 44 below. Let it symbolize grounded change, emotional support, and your readiness to step fully into the next chapter instead of only dreaming about it. There comes a moment in every journey when life stops asking only for movement and begins asking for honesty. Libra, you are standing in one of those moments now. The patterns, emotional nudges, and quiet feelings inside yourself have all been guiding you toward a deeper understanding of who you really are. Your experiences, even the invisible ones no one else saw, have shaped something important within you. But now life is asking a different question. Are you living according to your truth, or according to the version of yourself that learned to keep peace by abandoning your own needs? Deep down, you already know there is a difference between harmony and silence. You were never meant to spend your life shrinking around other people's expectations. There is a part of you that already understands you were meant to bring something real into the world through your heart and your presence. The question now is whether your choices reflect that understanding. Think about a seed beneath the soil at the beginning of summer. From the outside, it appears still and hidden, yet underneath the surface, something important is already unfolding. The seed is not disappearing, it is opening itself so it can finally grow toward the light. This season of your life feels very similar to that, Libra. You are not falling behind. You are expanding into a version of yourself that needs more honesty, more space, and a healthier emotional environment to fully grow. And with that expansion comes the responsibility to protect what is becoming more valuable inside you. As your energy changes, some things naturally stop fitting the same way they once did. Certain spaces feel heavier now, and some conversations leave you drained instead of supported. That does not mean you are becoming cold. It means your inner world is becoming clearer, and clarity changes what you are willing to carry. You may begin saying no to situations you once tolerated just to keep the peace. You may pull away from voices that disconnect you from yourself, not out of anger, but because your spirit needs room to breathe again. Around June 8th and 9th especially, your boundaries become deeply connected to your healing. The discipline being asked of you now is not harsh. It is sacred. It is the discipline of listening to your inner guidance, even when the path feels unfamiliar. Growth often asks us to become quieter before life becomes brighter, and you cannot carry old emotional weight into the new spaces trying to open for you. Saturn's energy reminds us that growth asks for accountability, not blame. It asks us to live with intention instead of reacting from fear or survival patterns. So ask yourself gently each day, what am I aligning with right now? Fear, or the life I know is trying to find me? Because this transition is not about escaping your past. It is about being guided toward spaces where your spirit can finally breathe, where your peace can settle like roots, finding water again. The light inside you never disappeared, Libra. It simply needs more room now to expand. As you move into this next chapter, let your choices come from remembrance instead of fear. Let your boundaries become acts of self-respect rather than walls built from exhaustion. Every time you honor your emotional truth, you move closer to the version of yourself that has always existed underneath the pressure to please everyone else. And if this message feels connected to something you have carried quietly for a long time, take a breath and comment the number 888 below. Let it symbolize expansion, grounded abundance, and your willingness to grow into a life that finally feels emotionally aligned. Libra, if you are still here listening, trust there is a reason for that. Maybe it is not only the words themselves, but the feeling they awakened inside you. Because more than anything, this journey is reminding you that the energy you have been searching for has been within you the entire time. You are not chasing magic outside yourself. You are learning to recognize the quiet power already living inside your spirit. And what is opening in front of you now is not punishment or coincidence. It is life finally reflecting the version of you that kept growing quietly, even when no one else could see it yet. You do not need every answer before taking the next step. You do not need perfection to deserve expansion. What matters is your willingness to keep saying yes to what feels emotionally true, even when it leads you somewhere unfamiliar. Let me ask you something gently, Libra. What would your life feel like if you fully trusted your own timing instead of questioning it? What if your softness was never a weakness, but one of the most honest expressions of your purpose? Your journey has never been only about surviving. It has always been about rising, even in quiet ways, choosing expansion again and again when retreat felt easier. There were moments when you felt unseen, but you were never forgotten. Your light was simply being protected until the right time for it to expand arrived. And now that moment feels closer, like early June warmth slowly touching everything around you. So today, take a moment and comment the words, "I am ready for my divine shift." Let it be your acknowledgement that you are open to what is moving toward you. And if this message truly resonates, also write, "I don't chase miracles, I am the miracle." Every time you affirm your readiness, you strengthen your connection to the life already waiting in alignment with you. You move closer to the version of yourself that no longer fears receiving or doubts belonging. Being chosen has never been about being better than anyone else, Libra. It has always been about being real with yourself and remaining open, even when life feels uncertain. And if these words made you feel seen or understood, I truly want to thank you for being here. Your presence in this space matters more than you realize. Every comment, every moment of connection helps keep messages like this alive for the people who need them most. So thank you for listening, thank you for staying open, and thank you for continuing to believe your story is still unfolding. This is more than just a video. It is a shared space of reflection, growth, and quiet connection. And as you move forward from here, remember this gently, Libra. You are not being guided away from life. You are being guided toward a version of it that finally feels like home. You are not forgotten. You are being led back to yourself, and somehow that return has been waiting for you all along.